Okay, folks, I'm Barry. This is Jen. This is Jen Standing, and this is Talk'n Tabletop, where we discuss tabletop items. Okay. Usually we start off with a term involving something in the tabletop hobby, and then we move on to a discussion involving the tabletop hobby.
And then we digress into all kinds of weird stuff.
Yes, we do that. Now, today we will be talking about fart factor. You picked the one. What was it? Fart factor?
Fart factors, because it's funny.
Fart factor will be the terminology, and then I think we're going to talk about Kickstarters for the discussion topic.
Don't ruin it. You're giving it away.
Oh, I'm sorry. But first, we had a response to the last one, two weeks ago. So, the last Talk'n Tabletop, we were discussing how people handle being ashamed of the hobby, how they handle talking to others about the hobby, the board game hobby. And I can't see the computer, Jennifer. So who and what did the person say?
Well, maybe he doesn't want to be all public-y and stuff.
If he put it
on
the forum, it's going to be public.
Mr. Paul French, he wrote back to you. Am I supposed to read it? Oh, man. Okay, he writes, "Glad you brought this up, Barry. I was viewing when Matt spoke about his experience. You backing him up was what brought me to your channel. Pat on the back for that, mate. I was given a swirly, the head down the toilet in high school because I was one of only 2 guys who owned a computer. Now everyone owns one, including the guys that Dunny flushed us. Dunny is Aussie slang for toilet. So, is the stigma actually related to the activity? No, it's just what normal, in quotes, it's just what's normal and what's seen as abnormal. The shelf behind you full of board games looks abnormal, and yet, if it was filled with football or sports paraphernalia, it would be normal. Like now it's normal to spend 4 hours playing games on a computer or Xbox, so it can't be that the board game hobby is childish or seen as childish, even though that is often included in the ribbing, because all people know are the board games are for kids. Blue-collar workers will stand around all day and talk about sports, footy in Australia, quoting every rule, stat, and detail, and talking about previous games. Just like gamers do, either talking about card descriptions, game rules, character stats. It's no different. The sport guys just have the majority, and the reason why I got a swirly in high school is because my passion was in the minority, and they overheard us speaking our computer speak. My kids were into Magic, the CCG, when they were young, and I gave them a speech to not go all evangelistic with their passion and start speaking out geek speak. Don't go speaking a different cult language around the majorities. Save it for private conversation. That was more about being smart and avoiding unnecessary attention than being ashamed. I still live by that. Heck, I could talk about board games, role-playing games, nerd movies, and books all day, but it's important to play it cool because people get swamped with new items, new terms, weird speak, and tune out after about one sentence. And it's hard to control my passion. I'm with Matt 100%. I'm not ashamed of board games. They keep me and my kids, young adults, around the table instead of them disappearing into solitary screens with smartphones. P.S. Hi, Jen. You make me laugh. More, please. So, what I take away from his email is that I'm funny. So, thanks for writing us. I'm sorry you wrote all that crap to Barry. You could have just said I was funny.
Oh, no, you're right.
No. I'm sorry that he got a swirly, and it sucks that, you gotta hide stuff, I mean, I understand, he wanted to save his kids from torture that he had to go through in high school, and it sucks that you gotta do that for anything, you know.
Yeah.
Anything that's different.
Yeah, well, my opinion on it are teenagers are assholes, and they always will be. You know, and they'll put...
You're very cursy today.
I know. They're learning how to be socially accepted, or you know, they're expanding on their social development, I guess you would say. And a lot of times that will isolate different people, and they will pick on different people, and that's just a natural course in human nature, I guess.
Well, in high school, I had friends in all different kind of, you know, cliques or whatever you want to say, but for the most part, I was, you know, average. I didn't like to get noticed, and kind of was just, you know, average, middle of the crowd. You didn't really notice one way or another.
Yeah, I was the same way. I don't recall ever being, you know, picked on like that.
No, I can't say that I was.
And I was never, you know, actively trying to pick on people.
No.
Other than my friends, you know, I joke around with them.
Yeah.
You know, but
well, that's just joking around with your friends.
Yeah, but I have seen it. You know,
yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
And it's a shame that there are different types of people in the world that choose to do that, even out of high school. You know. You know, and I do feel the same way as Jen. I think it's a shame that you feel as though your kids had to hide this part of their life.
Right.
Although I can see why. You know, socially, people are changing towards the geekier side of things.
Nerds are becoming cooler. Yes.
But you know, I don't know how Paul is, but when I was growing up, it was a little bit different. You know, nerd stuff, Dungeons and Dragons, and the video games. Well, not video games, but other aspects of nerd culture were looked down upon. Even video games to an extent. Yeah.
Well, I think I don't know, from my perspective, I'm air quoting, the D&D kids were not the nerd kids. They were different, you know. Like, they were just like the counterculture, you know. They were wearing the black clothes, or they were, you know, I don't know. They seemed antisocial, but in hindsight, they weren't. They were just with their friends, you know.
Yeah. It's just times have been changing.
No.
I think stuff like this is much more accepted now than it was.
Oh, absolutely.
When I was growing up, and even Jen's a little older than I am.
Yeah, just a couple days.
There was talk of devil worshiper, depending on which kind of music you listen to and stuff like that. So like I said, it's a shame that, you know, you feel as though you had to teach your kids that they had to hide stuff like that.
Yeah.
Luckily, that doesn't seem as much of a problem anymore. I mean, it's still relevant in certain situations, I'm sure, but times have changed since then.
But you totally got into the board gaming because to stop all of us from having our faces in the smartphones and actually socializing.
Yes, that is one of the main reasons I did get into the hobby. That, and it just intrigued me. When I started, there was 2 games, or it might have been 3. I think it was Coracle, then Settlers of Catan, and then Pandemic, if I remember right. Jen always played board games with her mother and all that.
Always.
I did not. I was constantly working when I was younger, and
yes,
from the age of like 12 on, and we just really didn't play games as a family much. I mean, when we were real young, me and my sister were closer than say me and my brother, because we're a year and a half apart. But
and your brother is
7 years older than I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, we played a few. I remember vaguely Mousetrap and Monopoly every once in a great while. Not all.
Oh, always. And I always thought I always thought that I had a lot of board games. And I think that for the average American, I always did.
Well, yeah, you would. I mean, mass-produced games, yes.
Yeah, don't be game snobby.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, and I still own games that I had from when I was little, and I always thought that was pretty cool.
Yes, they're made out of rock and stone.
No, but they are bigger boards, and they do have nice, like my Clue actually has metal knives and candlesticks and, you know, but I always, you know, I like that. That's, my mom and I always played games. I played games with my dad too, just not as much, but like, you know, we went through phases. He, you know, sometimes we played poker, sometimes we played Scrabble. But Scrabble, that actually helped me become a better speller.
And I do not play Scrabble because I can't spell. So, that's that.
And Barry doesn't want to become a better speller.
No, but, yeah, like I was saying, that's what got me into it. It was those 3 games. Catan didn't go over well. Quirkle is okay.
Quirkle!
I find it better for 2 players and more.
Barry just doesn't like to play it forever. I like Quirkle.
But Pandemic is the one that got me into the hobby. That's the one.
I hate you, Pandemic.
That made me realize. Before Pandemic, I did not realize a board game can do what Pandemic did. You know, not necessarily just Pandemic, but, you know, to me, they were always roll and move games or trivia games, which I hate, or party games, which, you know, I'm not too thrilled about. But Pandemic made you use your mind a little bit more, you know, and try and figure out a puzzle. And then as we went through more and more games, you know, they scratched that same itch in various different ways. Some better than others, but still. But yeah, it's, you know, that's why I got into it. You know, it was to pull my family away from them stupid cell phones and TVs.
We should totally play Trivial Pursuit. I love that game.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the discussion. The terminology. The terminology is fart factor this week. What is fart factor, Jennifer?
It is that farty sound that your box makes when you're either taking the lid off or putting it on.
Let's see if we can demonstrate. I don't know if we can do it with this one because this box is empty. There you go.
Farty box.
That was fart factor.
It's just funny. And every week Barry goes, what are we going to discuss, Jen? And I say fart factor. So he finally caved because he didn't know.
I finally caved. So
it's a good opportunity to laugh.
Yes.
Make farty sounds with your boxes.
Yes.
So have fun. Good gaming. See you later.
Yes. You could go around trying to close the lids on all your boxes, see what the fart factor of that particular game.
A lot of times the heavier ones, they have pretty good fart factor.
I find it depends on how much is actually in the box.
Yeah, that's true too.
Or how tight the paper that wraps around the sides is.
Yeah.
So
this one doesn't have a good fart factor coming off.
Well, the box is empty. That's, yeah. But maybe we should make a scale on the fart factor, 1 through 10.
Like a fart Richter scale?
Yes. What do you think?
No, that's just crazy.
Alright, so that was fart factor. Are you done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I have to get my cat, because I didn't get him in the last video.
Oh, what a shame.
I know.
So, Jennifer, what is the discussion topic?
You know what? You said it, and I was totally on board with you, and then I forgot.
Kickstarters?
Oh, yeah, Kickstarters. I'm going to kickstart pierogies, so I'm going to need like $42,000. They're going to be really good, though. I'll take lots of pictures.
She does make pierogies. Jen is part Polish. Polish.
He calls me Polak, so that's I'm Polish.
Yeah, Kickstarter.
Are we discussing the website or actually kickstarting? Because
Kickstarter.
Did the site start the name, or was the name there?
Really, Jen?
Well, it's kind of like Band-Aid. Like, Band-Aid is a brand name, but it has become what we call bandages. So, it was a serious question, but you know what? You have your table talk discussion by yourself.
The website is the name. The website was made to support the product.
Okay.
All right, so for those of you who do not know what Kickstarter is a crowdfunding source, okay, that will allow people to contribute money to an idea to get that idea made. There's different types of crowdfunding sources. There's Patreon, which is like a monthly one. Kickstarter is like a one-shot deal. Indiegogo, and I'm sure there's a few others that I just don't know about or
GoFundMe?
can't remember.
Did you say that?
Is that one?
GoFundMe?
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, that's like people go on there and say, hey, I want to raise money for something.
Now, the the initial idea for Kickstarter in particular was person would have this idea and ask people to help them create this idea. Okay, initially it was meant for the beginners. Okay, since then, in the board game area of Kickstarter anyway, it's changed to where these bigger companies have been coming in and using it as a pre-order system or a publicity PR type deal.
Barry doesn't like that.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't bother me. It's all right. Here's my views on Kickstarter. For a small company just getting, I think it is great. For a bigger company using it as a marketing tool, I'm a little iffy on that. But what brings this up is recently Ghostbusters started a Kickstarter campaign, and here's the obligatory that one. Anyway, Ghostbusters launched a Kickstarter. Now, this is an IP that I enjoy, and I actually said not that long ago that this is a game that I would love to see made into a modern board game. But I do not think I'm going to back this game because Ghostbusters is this Kickstarter has everything I hate about Kickstarter in it. It has these stretch goals and these Kickstarter only rewards that nobody will ever see, and it has early bird things, and it's expensive in my opinion, and it's got a bunch of miniatures, and the last time I looked at it, it did not give any rules explanation of the game or how it's going to be played or video or anything like that.
That would make me think that they just don't know.
Oh no, it has miniatures on it, so it will fund. It actually did fund within a day and a half or something like that. You know. So yeah, it had everything I hate about Kickstarter in it. Now I understand the points for early bird specials. You know, especially for smaller companies, it will help develop interest in the company. It will help develop a loyalty to the company for the smaller companies. You know, and I understand the need for Kickstarter exclusive stretch goals. You know, while I think it's a reason for people to kickstart this project, but it excludes a lot of people. You know, and stuff like that. You know, I kickstart some services. Let's say like Board with Life had a Kickstarter to fund their second season. I kickstarted that. I haven't kickstarted an actual board game in a long time. Because the cat just jumped all over the place.
Big cat.
For specific reasons, like a lot of the games that I have kickstarted earlier on just felt like they were half-baked. They didn't have enough play testing. They were just shot up there to make the game, you know, and the game wasn't ran through the courses enough to make the game to its full potential. They just felt short, in my opinion, a lot of times. But I have, and I still do services, you know. What are your thoughts on Kickstarter, Jen?
I hate them.
You hate them?
I hate them all.
Why?
Because there was a cooler, and it was really cool. It was like $300. That's stupid. Did you see that cooler?
Yeah, Jen was talking about this. I forget the name of it, but it was like...
I don't know.
You could plug in your iPhone to it. And it did all this other stuff, and she really wanted it. And
no, I didn't really want it. But no.
Okay. Anyway.
No, I don't know. I guess it's. I don't know. I guess it serves its purpose. I guess it's cool for some people. You know, for actual little people. I don't know if big companies should use it the way they're using. I don't think it was originally intended for that, but if it helps the little guy get off and running, you know, with the project or something, I think that's cool. You're on it all the time, so
On Kickstarter, no.
You used to be.
Yeah, in the beginning, when I first got introduced to it, I was, and I didn't back that many projects. But I kind of seem to miss. There are some really good Kickstarter games out there. Viticulture, Euphoria. We actually own that, but I didn't kickstart that one.
No, just eating a box.
I heard Zombicide, depending on the person, is a really good game. But there's games that I have bought in the past that just I kickstarted in the past that just felt like it needed more time.
Oh, I know why I don't like them.
Why?
Because didn't get my stupid birthday meeples.
Oh, stop.
Till way after.
Jen, that's something. A company. Here's another example of a Kickstarter. A company, Meeple Source, kickstarted this line of customized meeples with character meeples, and it was going on around Jen's birthday, and I said, which one would you like? And she assumed that I was doing this for her birthday, and it wasn't, and this was in April, and they didn't come till like November or something, so there's that.
So every couple weeks I'd be like, where's my meeples? Where's my birthday meeples?
That's what Jen's talking about.
And then he kept, it was supposed to be like August, and then it was like June, July, August, October. So every month you said, well, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, there's that. I mean, when a person buys a game from a publisher out of the local game store, they don't know about delays because it's already in the game store. A lot of publishers won't say it's going to be released on this date. They'll say around this time because there are delays with customs and shipping and production and stuff like that. With Kickstarter, they don't have that opportunity. And I found a lot of Kickstarters will be very unrealistic on their shipping date. So games will be late or they run into production issues or something like that. And sometimes they never appear. People never get their products. It's only happened a few times in the board game thing.
Do you get your money back?
No.
Oh.
So there's that. Another reason I don't like Kickstarter is there's really no support. When you order a game from a game publisher like Fantasy Flight or Portal or one of those, and something is wrong with the game. You got cards that are messed up or you're missing a pawn or whatever. You contact them, they will get you the replacement part. With Kickstarter, usually these games come out and then they disappear. And there is no public support in them. Usually. There are a couple of companies out there that try to. But usually there's not. Jen commented on the bigger companies doing stuff. I don't have a problem with that anymore. I did it one time. I thought this was meant for the little guy, stuff like that. But thinking about it, these bigger companies are going to use it for the public exposure. Okay, marketing.
Well, and I guess they want to know how much interest is in it.
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons they do it. But a lot of other companies do pre-orders, which is basically the same thing. The only difference is they're not doing it on Kickstarter; they're doing it on their own websites.
Sure.
Yeah. So that while I feel this makes it harder for the smaller companies to get their limelight, it kind of is what it is now.
Yeah.
Another issue, I don't want to seem like I'm picking on Kickstarter in particular, but another issue I have is just the flood of games that come out. The flood of average or mediocre games that are flooding the market for a brief time, mind you, with this Kickstarter. These Kickstarter games. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not a fan of Kickstarter, but a lot of people are, and I understand why, but to me, it just seems, the bigger publishers are kicking out 2,000 games a year, 3,000 games, something like that, and Kickstarter's adding another 1,500 games a year. It's just...
You don't have to buy every game back.
I don't, but as a consumer, it's just like information overload, and all these games are coming out at once, and you're trying to weed through to see which ones you would like to buy or which ones you're interested in and stuff like that. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah.
You could just not buy some.
But many people are excited about Kickstarter, and it does give people the opportunity to get their idea realized, and I do appreciate Kickstarter for that. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean other people shouldn't like it. And it'll give these people who never made a board game an opportunity to get their game made. Yeah. Whether that be good or bad, depending on the game. I do believe that there are companies that do an excellent job with Kickstarter. Stegmaier, Jamie Stegmaier, I can't remember the name of his publishing.
Plaid?
No, Plaidhead is not. Stonemaier Games, that's his company. Stonemaier Games, Crash Games, does a pretty good job. The ones who made Belfort, Tasty Minstrel, they kickstart most of their stuff.
Is it Tiny Minstrel?
Tasty.
It's Tasty Minstrel Games.
There are companies out there who utilize Kickstarter very well, and at one point they were just like everybody else when Kickstarter originated, who were using it to get their ideas across and realized.
They totally stole my Dragon Meeple.
In later years it changed and the bigger companies start getting in and blah, blah, blah. But that's my feelings on Kickstarter. Now, I'd like to hear what other people think about Kickstarter or crowdfunding sources in general. I believe, like I said in before, I believe there is a great idea, but it just kind of veered away from that. Yeah, and I still do use it for services. Yeah. So I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on it. So please leave your comments down below, and we'll get back.
Tell me, Barry, it's good. It's all right.
Yeah, that's what Jen does.
Do
you have anything else on Kickstarter or crowdfunding in general?
No. Is there some way that I can block the access to those websites?
For me?
Yeah.
No, because I know more about the computer than you do.
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. I'll just Google it.
Okay. Well, you never really said what do you think about crowdfunding, Kickstarter, or whatever.
It's all right. It serves its purpose, I've been on the website. I've never funded anything or purchased anything. But you have.
Yes.
Did you not? That's Tabletop got a second season, right?
Yeah, that was through Indiegogo.
Oh, Indiegogo.
But I look at that as a service. Same with Watch It Played. And there's a couple others that I did. I look at that as a service rather than trying to get it. Well, it's the same thing, but I mean,
you're still trying to get something funded.
Yeah.
In the genre of board games.
Right.
Right. So no, it's good.
Okay.
A lot of people have heard of it, even people not in the hobby. But they do Kickstarter other things besides board games.
Yeah. Well, I mainly focus on the board games, but yeah, the crowdsourcing things do many other different things. Like the core Jen was talking about, and video games and stuff like that.
I think GoFundMe is probably more for people. My cousin, she used the GoFundMe for her dog needed surgery.
Yeah, I have heard of stuff like that. Where people just ran into hard times and they needed money.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think Kickstarter does
Kickstarter,
that.
Kickstarter's not for that. But, I mean, you could probably go to a GoFundMe to do something, you know. Just, I don't know.
But anyway, so...
I'm distracting Barry because I'm
she's
playing with the
fidgeting and
tripod.
playing. This is what I deal with.
It's got all these little nubbies and it's adjustable.
So, for my Kickstarter, I would like another co-host.
Look, every time we go to the store, or I'm going to go to the store, what do you want? Oh, a new wife. They don't sell those here. You can't Kickstart a new wife either. Alright?
Damn.
Yeah.
Alright, so anyway, that's all we have on that. Like I said, we'd like to know what you think. Please leave your comments down below.
I'm sorry if I annoyed you with my microphone.
We're trying to see how Jen acts with the lav mic. We bought another mic, trying to improve the audio quality. We shall see.
I don't like it. It's weird looking.
Well, it's actually a recorder.
I don't care. I
has
don't
microphone.
like it.
Yeah. Okay. So, thanks for watching. Get gaming.
And have fun.
And we will see you next time.
On Tabletop Digression.
No, Talk'n Tabletop.
Talking Tabletop. Talking about other stuff. .com.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.